Good evening, everybody. It's the Old Wolf here again for another of the Tuesday night podcast, The Witch and Wolf Wisdom. Tonight's episode 23, The Slap Heard Around the World. Thank you again. It's 8 o'clock here, March 29, 2022, coming at you live from upstate Rochester, New York. North of the fucking wall, where Winter just not quite sure she wants to leave.
Fucking groundhog.
Now, the analogy that I'm thinking right now, obviously, with the theme tonight is, you know, Winter needs a good slap.
Yes, please slap Winter. Please.
So thank you again, everybody. This is an ongoing thing that we have been doing. As always, the views, thoughts, opinions, expressions are mine and mine alone. Sometimes the witch here, she'll share them. Sometimes you'll share them, but hey, it's all on me. All of the music, again, also is me and people associated with me. It's my copyright, so I get to do with it what I want, and I choose to share it freely with you guys. Sabrina, Jamie, hello. Great to see you.
Good evening, good evening.
The Goblin Queen. Da-da-da-da-da.
Hello.
Hey, fix your fucking website so I can share it. Okay? I don't know how else to put this. Fix your fucking website so I can share the damn thing. I would have shared the stuff you said to me, but I can't share it because I can't send it to a broken website. You and I both know that's not going to do you any good. So I'm saving your, I guess, your grand opening.
Share out by the wolf.
Share out by us. For when everything's set up and ready. And I say that with love and sincerity, all joking aside. We got you. So, go fix your fucking website. Or get somebody to fix it. Well, Nora and Chris and everybody, it's great to see everybody again tonight. So, yes, a couple little things we always like to do. Thank you for sharing. We truly do appreciate it. Again, it's how we do a lot of the things we do.
Yeah.
JB, I wasn't going to throw you under the bus, but yes, you can join Chanel in this little, okay, we're going to call you out. Yeah, we need those pictures, but here's the funny thing.
I was yelling at her for that the other day.
Funny you should mention it, because I've actually been thinking about revisiting that track. Those of you who've been following me and the music and stuff know that I have a very talented singer now on board. He and I have made a good connection. I really, really like his interpretations of the music. And, you know, there are certain elements, high-functioning empaths, I'm sure, can appreciate this. You know, why leave a thing if you can go rip it apart and rebuild it, make it fucking better? So,
well, you know, speaking of, that recently happened to another
yes, Time of the Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Definitely went through that process. All of these tracks to different degrees, you know, they're evolving. They're changing, you know, and that's good. Joshua, good to see you as well. Great to see everybody. Sabrina, you found out today people are spamming accounts for money. Somehow I am the only one that knows about this. I'm not sure. I mean, people have been scamming people since the beginning of time. I mean, it's actually no surprise to me. I don't know which particular spam,
I mean,
slash whatever you're talking about, because there's so many of the fucking things.
I got like 5 of them yesterday. I got a phone call today telling me that they were Best Buy. Credited with my
I get the calls about, you know, my extended warranty on the Honda that I've never owned is about to expire. You know what I mean? Look, the human nature, you know, that I ignore that shit.
Yeah.
You know, and that's my philosophy. If I don't know you, sorry. You know what I mean? Send me a letter, you know, legal, certified, you know. There are elements to be made, you know, and again, simplest analogy, you know, if it looks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck. So, yeah, again, you know, and if you're not sure, again, easy analogy, strength in numbers. Show it to somebody else. Talk to somebody else. See what they have to say about it. But 9 times out of 10, they're easily recognizable. You know what I mean? No legitimate company is going to ask you for your credit card like that. They're not going to ask you. They come on lives and put their Cash App on the lives. That to me, again, is insanity. But hey, you know, listen, you know, unfortunately, and this is a sad reality, you know, people are desperate in many ways. They're willing to believe. Now, to some degrees, that's also a side effect of what I've referred to many times as weaponized empathy. There are people out there that will manipulate to take advantage of individuals for any number of fucking reasons.
Yeah.
And again, you know, some things, again, you know, and I only can, you know, speak this from the context of, you know, how I perceive it. They're based within aspects of context. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you know, sometimes legitimate or things that look legitimate aren't bullshit. And then, you know, sometimes things that don't look exactly this, that, or anything, you know, are legitimate. You know, you always have to kind of look between the lines, as they say. You know, and just like, you know, like us, you know, we do things, but we don't do it like online in the chat and stuff. Shiya runs the live. She puts out, you know, the link to her services and stuff, as, you know, I have, you know, described here. So, you know, there's a fine line sometimes between, you know, how we try and make a living, how we do business, you know, or to the degrees like mentioned, you know, charitable things, GoFundMe's and other elements. You know, again, I always say, you know, take a look, and, you know, if it doesn't seem right, you know, the best analogy, again, is if you're not comfortable with something, don't do it.
And if it seems too good to be true, it seems too good.
Right, you know, there's always that. You know, listen, if you get an email from some guy, you know, a Nigerian prince about, you know, how you're the long-lost ancestor of something, you know, it's bullshit.
Don't click the link.
It's bullshit.
Just don't.
Hey, Suzanne, great to see you. Mystic Moons, which, you know, again, brings me to a couple of things I want to go over real quick before we get too deep. Writers Contest is coming to an end. A couple more days left.
Yes.
A lot of great submissions. Again, it's going to be tough. As it stands now, I've got it narrowed down to a group of 7. Notwithstanding, if anybody decides they want to submit anything between, you know, now and the end of the month. But, you know, again, the Writers Contest is really simple. Write a poem, spell, mantra under 50 words if possible. We're going to turn it into a track. You know, the grand prize is, you know, the song, a 30-minute private reading with either myself or Lady Shiya, and a $25 gift certificate to Mystical Moons. Suzanne has so graciously gotten involved and donated of her time and services. So, you know, again, shout out to her. And I'm going to go right and send your submissions to contest@ladyshia.com. No purchase necessary, blah, blah, blah. All rights reserved, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we
yes, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
So, yeah, Mystical Moons. Definitely suggesting, you know, again, strength in numbers. We try and support each other to the different degrees that we can. So go check her out. She has some really nice stuff. Very fairly priced, you know, again, for anybody who, you know, dances within this. And, you know, even if you don't, they make great gifts for other people. And she, you know, on top of donating the gift certificates, she's giving an additional discount. Shiya,
yes.
Why don't you explain that?
First time you go and shop over at Mystical Moons Live, and she does lives on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And yes, there are many a time you can catch her Friday live and still catch me later. So, or catch me and then catch her. But
or fuck us, just go hang out with Suzanne.
Yeah,
we're all around all the time.
But anyway, your first order that you get with her, you name drop me or the wolf, and you'll get 25% off.
Which on top of the price it's a fucking steal. So listen, again.
Look, she's got this crazy thing going on with, like, the more you buy, the more discounts you get. I mean,
listen, it's an old school business.
Yeah, but it works.
Philosophy. It's the way we used to do things, and it actually used to work. And Nora, you're absolutely right. Follow your intuition. More for safety, awareness of scammers. Yes. And hello to the Lady Victorian. Monica, my sister, great to see you as well, too. So, yeah, definitely go check her out. Again, thank you for supporting for this contest. And I am really, looking forward. Shiya and I were talking about this. More than one of these submissions may become songs. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Just saying.
It's been tough for you to pick.
Yeah, it is. Going to talk about my brother Tony, because my brother Tony is actually getting involved in one of the tracks. He and I started our journey with Broken Past many years ago. He still plays with the band with other really good members, don't get me wrong. He's also a world-renowned tattoo artist. So again, if you're ever in the Jersey Shore area, or if you're just looking for a kick-ass tattoo, www.undermyskintat2, as in the number 2.com. Also, Tony does a lot of merchandising type of stuff, either, for personal, type of little elements. You want to make some custom t-shirts for your kids, some bumper stickers, a fucking custom, coffee mug. Oh my God. All types of stuff.
The embroidery and the patchwork.
Yeah, you can do patchwork.
Like, wow.
All kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. But www.papo, P-A-P-O, stickercompany.com. And then in the band, brokenpastnewjersey.com. But yeah, Tony's working with me on one of the tracks, and it's really great to have him, to be able to do some music with him again. He and I have been doing music for a number of years. Yes, Lady Victorian, please feel free, use the chat, ask a question. Don't get me wrong, depending upon the question, I can't guarantee you that I can and or will answer.
42.
I always like to just clarify that with honesty, because, if you ask me something crazy like, would I like to blow Vladimir Putin?
The answer's going to be hell no.
Obviously, the answer is going to be hell no.
But, Monica, he definitely read that. The one that was based on us. That was sweet of you.
Yes. Listen, again, some of these elements now, for me, it's going to be very difficult to separate. So whereas somebody, yes, obviously has to win, I'm not 100% sure that I may not make several of them into musical tracks. Listen, Shiya and I joked around with it. We even thought about actually just doing a fucking album, just being fan submissions.
Right.
All the people we know within our circles and the elements of their poetry or music or art or whatever, and just creating the ultimate fan.
Yeah. So, Honora, I didn't have one in my email from you. So if you want to resubmit it, it's contest@ladyshiya.com. And if you're having a problem with that, then just go ahead and text it to me.
Right. Either way, you have to get it through, and we'll make sure that we get it into the mix. How long does she have to wait to get a tattoo to cover a horrible incision? My knowledge and my experience says that probably at least a year to two.
Because you want scar tissue to heal.
Right. The scar tissue, you can't just look at it as the surface element, especially the surrounding areas where the healing is going on, because a tattoo does obviously go several layers.
I've seen people who, a less scrupulous tattoo artist gave them a cover-up too soon, and it bled out and turned into like this watercolor.
Yeah, listen, again, it was horrible. From the pure element of, safety, obviously safety first, but obviously, and Shiya makes a great point, because of how a tattoo is applied, and elements obviously between the artist and the type of ink, the type of needles, and how deep they go. You don't want her to have to go through the hassles of a shitty or worse a tattoo gone bad. So that would be my honest and humble suggestion. At least a year or two. Yeah. Preferably, I would say, the 18-month mark would be where I would think about at least having a conversation with a tattoo artist.
Because it can turn out really not good, and, possibly get an infection even on your side.
And Brother John, it's great to see you. We will be premiering the video version of Time of the Phoenix. Johnny Bro there
I'm so excited.
Actually is one of the key elements that this track was born from. John has production and writing credits on this with myself and Matt Brown, obviously doing the music and the vocals, etc., etc. But yes, music, as I talk about redundantly, is part of my magic. Is how I express a lot of those elements. And Sabrina, yes, no coincidence. I did see that Will Smith bitch smashed. Well, bitch smack should be the bitch slapped Chris Rock.
In fact,
hence
that's what
the title of the episode 23, the slap heard around the world. And we will be getting to that again. You know, a couple other things real quick. Want to talk about Shiya's private video readings. Why don't you tell us real quick about that?
Yeah, if you have something you can't schedule a private reading, or you don't want to pay the full $45 but can't do it on the live, or won't do it on the live because of sensitive topic, you get a private recorded video link just for you that you can get a private video reading that way. So, and that's only $30. So
cool.
Yeah,
I think it's really cool. And this, I think, is one of the most important and one of the most powerful. The mentorship circle. Yes. That
is where I share my accumulated knowledge and we do monthly practical magic workshops. I put spells and all that fun stuff. Teach you Reiki.
Hey, we're getting ready to put some updates and some expansions into that.
Yeah.
Just unfortunately, it's just the two of us, so.
Yeah, there's only
so much we can do.
Yep.
Well, the music and some of the elements have definitely, because we're really pushing, or at least I'm pushing now to get the album finished. You know what I mean? To get all this stuff done. Got to get the artwork done, and then master post-production again, and then putting it all out there as mentioned. And I will continue to talk about this redundantly. My intent is I'm going to release all the music so that way it's available for free to people, so you don't have to have a Spotify fucking subscription or an Apple card or any of that shit. Don't get me wrong, I don't begrudge anybody who does that to make a living. I get it. However,
you want to share.
I want to share it so that way people, that anybody can fucking, as long as it's not used in the commercial content, and even that I don't have a problem with. Again, it just
we need to
because of the way the world is. Yeah, the copyright things have to become. So yes, the Goblin Queen says not cool to call Will's wife what he called her, knowing she openly discussed last year how self-conscious she has about her alopecia. Yeah, listen, this is the unfortunate reality, and we'll get deeper into this as we go through the evening. There's a case to be made on both sides of the spectrum. There are arguments, all of them viable. I have my own takes on it. There are a couple elements of it that I am very much uncomfortable with, just not only as a man, but as a parent. And it's not even so much in the context of what Will Smith did, but it was more in kind of really what happened in the aftermath. And Jim Carrey released a statement. Now, again, I'm also of two minds. It seems everybody's got a fucking opinion about this. Everybody's got a story to tell.
We were having a debate about it with Monkey earlier.
Yeah.
So.
And I get it, because these are the type of moments that make us say, what the fuck kind of world do we live in? Okay, obviously, with everything else that's going on in the world around us, it's almost comical to say, hey, this is what we're really concerned about. This is what's important. So I'll just say that with sarcasm as an opening. The next, and this is, I think this is a very valid point that Jim Carrey made and others have made, was how people in the audience reacted. Okay, and not so much in the moment. Obviously nobody's going to jump the fuck up there and be like getting involved, but that it was almost, it was dismissed in a framework that, he got the award, everybody applauded, nobody did a fucking thing. And for those of you who either watched it or went back and looked at all the various different angles of it between social media and the internet and shit, nobody, he went up there, smacked him, walked off, there was no intervention. There was no, hey, you know, granted, yeah, obviously a couple of people.
No security escorts.
Yeah, no security escort. You know, a couple people, you know, talked to him afterwards, but.
Jim Carrey makes a really good point that anybody else would have been escorted out by security.
Yeah. And in other given situation, I mean, Jesus Christ, if you run onto a football field, you can bet your ass, you know, you're going out, and you're not going out the way you came in, that's for sure. My sister Suzanne, the Beaver Queen, great to see you as well. And it is. There are elements on both sides of the fence on this that you can make a case for. You know, condoning violence in any framework, especially in that framework, is really tough. It sends a bad message. It says that, you know, that there are two standards, that if you're rich and famous, you can basically walk up to somebody and bitch slap them on national TV
without impunity. Really.
It doesn't appear that anything is going to fucking happen.
If you don't mind, let's take that step back. I don't even think the national TV thing is the thing you should be stressing. I think the fact that somebody got hit in the face for speaking is the dilemma. We have freedom of speech.
That's the deeper element.
But just because you have freedom of speech doesn't, I mean...
There is a fine line that there are certain consequences for certain speech. And yes, Monica says hello and welcome to the Indigo Monkey.
Yeah.
Here to remind me that I'm sweating.
Hi, everyone. Which
I'm not. To be really, you know, it's a great discussion element. But ultimately, in the scheme of things, and I say this sincerely, you know, take what you need, leave the rest behind.
Yep.
You know, I've heard all types of different tangents about this, that, and the other thing, and his fidelity versus her fidelity, and who's fucking who, and blah, 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 you know, and it's just like, okay, yeah, you know, granted, everybody's got a story.
Regardless of whatever story you're looking at, what they have is a toxic relationship, and it should not exist the way it does, but it does, and they try to make it work, and it's commendable through the effort. Not exactly through the example, but through the effort.
And it's been made public now, so
honestly,
it's open. It's open game as far as I'm concerned.
To me, it seems like she is honestly more of an abusing context in this relationship, and I say that as a woman, that there are some women who can go out there and absolutely ruin in the ways that somebody was saying to me earlier.
And that goes.
They can go and ruin a woman by being a narcissist.
It definitely happens,
even as a female.
And that goes to the larger narrative, or maybe the expanded narrative, that there's a lot more to this story than just meets the eye.
Right.
For those of you who do not know, and Honora, that you know that's absolutely right, and I'm with you on it. Does not give permission for disrespectful behavior to others' feelings, for sharing jokes of judgment on others. Freedom of speech is not to cause harm to others. I agree with it.
And freedom of speech is what I was going to say is not without consequences. But
if we're really going to be honest, Chris Rock's joke, whereas yes, you can make a case that it, but according to him, he didn't know about that. Maybe he doesn't follow her, so you can make a case that he didn't know. And here's the other thing: he's a fucking comedian.
He took a moment to make a joke that was...
Granted, maybe it was a cheap joke.
It was not written in. It was completely impromptu. And I feel that the first half of Will Smith's reaction was unwarranted. Slapping him, all right, that's a step too far. However, everything else that happened, I think was perfectly acceptable. If you want to call out, keep your wife's name out of your fucking mouth... Yeah,
that I'm with. That
right. He should have put his arm around her.
The slap is where the problem began.
He should have put his arm around her, made sure she was okay, did what he had to do, and made sure nothing else got done at her expense.
So, with that, we're going to take a pause on this real quick, and I'm going to do it because my brother John says, yeah, I finally get to sit down and eat. So you're going to get to sit down and eat, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to premiere the video for Phoenix, so that way while you're eating you can actually sit here and enjoy it. We're going to come right back after that, and we are going to continue this conversation. So with that said, premiering time of the Phoenix.
turn back time, then I wouldn't change any line. Days go by, years go by, life goes by, the times are right to die. Days go by, years go by, life goes by, the times are right to die. Days go by, years go by, life goes by, the times are right to die. Days go by, years go
So yeah, that's the video for Time of the Phoenix. Those of you who remember the original version, it had a similar type of kaleidoscope. Just, you know, I'm not a real video guy. I mean, I have some knowledge of tools. Monkey helps me out. Shiya helps us out. We all have, you know, decent working knowledge, but I'm not George Lucas, and I'm not going to fucking pretend to be George Lucas. So I try and work within the elements that I can, and using a similar context, you know, just kind of created that, you know, that Phoenix element to kind of represent it. My sister Ashley Hall. Oh, good to see you.
Jonathan
I need
said,
to get
"Holy fuck."
my
Jonathan
back
said, "Holy
hurts.
fuck, I love it."
I'm glad, brother. Listen, this is just as much an expression of you as it is me and Matt and, you know, Monkey and Shiya and everybody else that's had a part in making this music. Okay, it isn't just me. I wouldn't be able to do the elements that I do without... I fucked my back up, Ashley. I don't know what the hell I did. I think I had some dank weed, and I just coughed too hard, and you know how it goes as we get older, you know. Those two ribs that I broke 20 years ago in the last fucking real game of football I played just came back and just were like, hey, remember us?
That's the PG version of
Oh,
the story.
that's just, the PG story of that story, yeah. Yeah, I'm hanging in there, hon. How are you? Ashley Hart also, Hart's Creations, great supporter.
Oh, look at this.
Great
We got
sister, great
an
woman.
Amazingly talented young man that has joined us this evening.
Yes.
Yes. Everybody say hi to Matt Brown.
Brother! Coming at you from Texas.
Yeah.
He's a Texas man.
I know.
Listen,
I'm a
you know,
Texas
again,
gal. I get it.
I can't say enough, again, the difference that it has really made, you know, and this is, brothers, not to blow smoke up your ass. Truth is truth, you know, people have been hearing the tracks, and they're blown away.
Yep.
Blown away.
Truly, truly.
You know, again, I have been documenting, you know, the progression of these tracks to different degrees, you know, here in the podcast, you know, a little bit on fucking Facebook for like the 12 followers that I have
Oh
on
my God.
Facebook. Well, listen, incomparable to some, you know what I mean? And listen, I don't mind that, you know, ultimately, and don't get me wrong, you know, and I joked around with this with my cousin and stuff. My cousin had posted, you know, on the Facebook thread that I had shared this with, you know, that him and his wife are blown away, should be on the radio and stuff. And I was just like, hey, listen, if some big money company wants to come in and pay me and Matt enough that, you know, we could actually go out there and do this and not have to worry, yeah, we might have a conversation. We might think about it. But here's the beautiful thing. We can do this and continue to do this and put it out there for people to enjoy regardless.
Yep.
Now, again, it is a fine line. We all need to make a living. We all have to different degrees, compromise. But we can pick and choose to different degrees. And, you know, I started this as, you know, truly wanting to be able to put not only, you know, my magic, my music out there, but put it out in a way that, excuse me, that people could enjoy it, you know,
Yep.
without having to, you know, have a fucking Spotify account or a fucking Apple account or, you know, Listen,
Well,
when I
thankfully-
grew up, yeah, you would buy album stuff, but if you couldn't afford to go buy an album, you could put the fucking radio on, you could listen to the song for free.
Now they, Spotify, Amazon, several of them out there, even Pandora and iHeartRadio, they all have a free version of it. You just have to listen to freaking commercials, just like you had to if you listen to the radio. So they can still listen to it for free.
And Chris comments, she says she's looking forward to the album. Can't remember last time she bought one. It was probably Frank, also a different guy, though. I am hoping, and if you just made a reference to the Mr. Frank Zappa, I am humbled to even be referenced in the same framework and context as Mr. Frank Zappa.
Mm-hmm. You never know. It could be Frank Sinatra. Also,
Could be Frank Sinatra, but I think she's talking. She's talking Frank
that'd
Zappa.
still be awesome.
I think she's talking Zappa. I could be wrong. I am frequently wrong. Google Podcasts is good. Again, to certain degrees, I have been exploring different elements to what degree I want to push certain things. The problem sometimes when you go outside the box now is then, you have these other elements, that now get in the way. This is very
We like to
organic.
keep things organic and pure. And if we can expand while doing that, then great.
You were
Sorry,
correct. It was Frank Sinatra.
It was Frank Sinatra.
See,
okay.
I'm fucking wrong.
See, that's what happens when you have a psychic sitting next
Yeah,
to you.
well,
Crazy ass Texas witch.
Fuck you, Kratos. All right, so back to what we were talking. I'm going to just segue right off of that. Yeah, listen, it's all good. I am of the same mind as well, too. And, a lot of different elements that I intend to continue to explore and do with music. Matt and I are already working on other tracks as well as concepts. Mm-hmm. No, the CD is not available. Matt and I are still finishing a couple of things.
It will be.
I also have to, I have to get an album cover, designed, and then, the whole thing mastered and then printed. So yeah, we're hoping by early midsummer that we will have that CD available
in the next few months.
Yep.
The music will be available.
Some of
on
it
the
is,
YouTube.
and this is a testament to Matt. Since Matt's come in, Matt's presence and the dynamics that have changed have lit the fire under other people's asses within my circle. And it's not in a bad context, but it was just in the framework. My buddy Tom Hampton did the slide guitar work from Poco, did the slide guitar work for Mama Rocks. He heard the track, and he was just like, yo, I got to redo my track. He wants to redo his part based on what Matt brought to the table, which, it is an incredible thing, especially coming from a guy like Tom.
Yeah.
The same analogy with the track that started as Butterfly Effect, which a buddy of mine from Florida, Jeff Thal, did the drums on. My friend Tony Rodriguez, who I mentioned earlier, my brother, from the early days of Broken Past, he heard the early version of this track
about it,
and he was just like, oh man, because some of these songs in some of the basic elements, and Monkey will attest to this because he was part of this when we first formed Broken Past and we first started writing originals. Some of these elements were, to little bits and degrees, especially like with Butterfly Effect, which is now a track called Keep On Talking.
Which
they
I
evolved.
love.
They evolved.
I am calling Keep On Talking my anthem of boundaries.
Yes, and we will be popping that one in a little bit.
I am so in love with that one.
So, in keeping with the theme, from earlier, the slap heard around the world, and there are Bible points on both sides, but, one of the things I wanted... No, listen, brother, truth is truth, you know what I mean? And having been, in the scene for a few, I started as a kid doing, folk music, bluegrass, following old timers around, at hippie shows that my mother would drag me. And then I progressed, I got into metal, I got into rock, but I have played within a really wide range
and you know what?
of styles over the years. And let me tell you, some people are just natural to it, and brother, you're natural to it. So, thank you.
And one of the key accomplishments that you've told me about, or the best feelings, was being able to play on the stage of the Stone Pony with a certain Indigo Monkey, aka your son.
Well, yeah, I mean, as a live musician, that was absolutely, I talk about it, it was one of my bucket list things. But yeah, we got to perform several times at the Stone Pony, as well as a whole bunch of other places.
Yep.
But again, we'll talk more about that when we get to some other trucks. I wanted to, again, add a little levity. And, we had so much fun last week with the memes. I was like, how could I not resist going back to them? Now, granted, we're not going back to Beaver Asshole. That's not happening. So anybody that came out tonight expecting Beaver Asshole, you're out of luck.
Unless Suzanne Williams shows up. Because if the Beaver Queen shows up, we have to go there.
I will leave that alone for now. But here we go. Yes. Now, for those of you, if you're not actually able to see it, okay, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult depending upon what type of device, it's basically a meme of, Will smacking Chris, but with the highlighted caption of Jada, and it simply says, Will, I'm not impressed. Tupac would have shot him. Now, again, there's some history here.
Yeah.
That goes back to dead rap stars and, all kinds of other shit, which makes this, how many degrees of separation. But, yeah, I mean, that's a fucked up statement. Now, that's everywhere. And it kind of gets to some of the other elements, you know what I mean, that, come into this. Now, these Will Smith memes are killing me, and you can see, you've got the Pokemon one, and I don't know what that other one is. It's just some type of probably Nintendo Wii kind of, one of those Kinect type of things where you're swinging at objects in, a virtual reality of hell. But yes, the memes just keep on coming. You know what I mean? They just keep on coming. This one, for me, I remember back in the day, fucking Celebrity Deathmatch was fucking hysterical. And I'm all for this. I'll even get behind a fucking crowdfund on this one to bring Celebrity Deathmatch just to have Will and Chris Rock fucking go at it. I think that would be a one-off. I think it would be epic.
It would be.
But anybody who remembers MTV Celebrity Deathmatch?
I remember that was back when MTV still had music on it.
Yes,
that's all.
Back when MTV actually had
music on it. It used to happen, boys and girls. Trust me.
Yes, there was a day in a galaxy far, far away where MTV actually had music.
Yeah.
But again, as you can see, we got this one, which is basically a collage. Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. Reaction Matrix, as it is referred to here in this meme. And you can see all the shock. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now, if you look at the guy down there on the right, that to me, I'm pretty sure that's Ryan Gosling. Correct me if I'm wrong, monkey.
I can't see.
All right, come up in here closer. Crawl, man. All right, but anyway, that appears to be Ryan Gosling in the corner. And you can see that motherfucker is laughing. All right? No joke. He's trying to hide it. But you can see in his eyes. You can see in his face. Now, again, you see Mel Gibson. And I can guarantee you that Mel Gibson is thinking, well, he ain't going to get canceled. Mel got, I'm surprised that they even let Mel back in there after the shit that he's pulled.
He's got too much money.
But yeah, there it is. Thank you, monkey. It's the money. It is these illusions of, grandiose, we've created them into demigods in many ways.
We certainly worship them enough.
Yes. But I thought this was great. This was great. When you just ended being a meme, then you become a meme again. And for those of you who don't know, it's Will Smith as the live-action genie, which was an absolute train wreck. You know what I mean? And really, this is the flip side now within the whole internet social media spectrum that, just like that, you're a fucking meme, and that's how, people are going to look at it, and rightfully so. This one I thought was great. This is a little animated one, and it's just basically Will obviously slapping Chris Rock. And it's like, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. Now, again, you can make a case Okay? There is, unfortunately, like it or not, an element within not only our culture, but many cultures, that certain things are triggers. They are frowned upon. So, in the framework and the context, even if just perceptionally, if somebody feels that, they are being disrespected, or in this case, their wife is being disrespected, there is almost a societal demand for a response. Because if you don't, now all of a sudden you're something less. You're less of a man. And this is something that you mentioned, Monkey, and I think this is really important to talk about. And it was really, again, one of the elements that I wanted to bring up was in that kind of double-edged sword within, toxic masculinity versus having an element almost of emasculation. And the monkey's speechless. He's like, he used emasculation in a sentence on his podcast.
You're using big words.
I'm using big words tonight.
No.
But again, there's a huge backstory about elements of, Jada has a show where, and again,
I'm not 100% sure.
But he basically went out there, spilled his guts about how he felt, and really the universal response, at least to in a lot of degrees, was that
he was made fun of.
Yeah,
the dude actually gets down, breaks down, shares his feelings, and everyone fucking laughs at him. So yeah, he's been under, as far as I understand it, I don't follow it like crazy or nothing, but he was under a lot of stress from what I was reading into, and moments like that happen. Chris Rock, though, he took it like a champ. Not only did he literally take the slap like a champ, but he's not pressing charges. He's not even mad. He's just, all right, I crossed the line. I won't do that again. Let's continue, everyone. Holy crap. Give that man an award.
There is, and again, brings another great point. The man of the hour, as far as I'm concerned, regardless of what you say about the joke, okay, I get it. This is what happens in comedy. And again, if we're going to have an honest conversation, not everybody is going to find every joke funny. Sometimes they straddle that line.
And physical comedy jokes is kind of like the low-hanging fruit.
It is a low-hanging fruit. It is. But again, in the scheme of things, considering some of the shit that we all know has been said and done out there, and I'm not saying it to take a shot at Jada, I'm not saying to take a shot at anybody, but I'm just saying, and I am saying, that if we're really gonna be honest, no offense, fucking Mel Gibson was running around like a fucking drunken fucking lunatic talking about, having to, put the Jews back into the fucking oven and shit. So, let's really, again, I understand it is not acceptable, okay? I agree.
I wonder, and just hear me out. That was, 10 years ago? 10 plus?
Yeah, something like that.
Today's cancel culture, if he had done that, he'd be dead.
But again, and I'm not saying, listen, I like Mel Gibson as an actor.
He'd have no friends. Mm-hmm. All his money would get drained in all of the legal affairs.
But I'm not even really sure that is the case, because we're seeing people that were supposedly, quote-unquote, canceled finding their way. Now, granted, everybody, there is a case, again, to be made for redemption, that people should be given second chances. But
I mean, on the end of the spectrum, on how Will could have reacted, I think a slap was the smallest physical offense possible.
Yeah, but still inappropriate.
He could have decked him in that same.
Listen, homeboy could have lost his shit completely. You're right.
He could have decked him, and then Chris Rock would have had a black eye for the rest of the night.
You're right.
Yeah.
It could have been a whole lot worse.
He slapped him. He went back to his seat, and he told him not to talk about his wife.
Now, there are a couple of interesting dynamics that have been brought up. Jim Carrey made a very big point about this, about how people just ignored it. They applauded it.
A standing ovation,
right,
nonetheless.
Now
guys, chat, what do you think? What do you think about a standing ovation for that? Do you think that's really necessary? Or do you think that was the peanut gallery getting swept up? I mean, that's what I think.
I think, again, in the moment, that it was just, they tried to sweep it all under the rug. Now, that isn't to say that I believe that, listen, he won the Academy Award for that. He deserved that. It shouldn't be framed. Unfortunately, it's going to be with everything else. And,
now, a lot of people said when he got his award, his mood his mood snapped. And I just want to point out that whole night, I think his mood was snapping, because if you watch, he was laughing up until he looked over at Jada.
She made a context.
Right.
He thought that shit was funny. He was laughing too. And then he looked over and she wasn't happy. He was like, oh shit, I fucked up. I shouldn't be laughing.
And there have been several pointed observations that may be a framework of the dynamic. Does it justify it? No. Does it excuse it? No. But details do matter.
And you know what? I have to say, as a woman, I don't think that Jada was very graceful in her approach to that, because she could have turned around and, despite the whole alopecia G.I. Jane thing, she could have gotten up and flexed her muscles and said, yeah, I'm G.I. Jane, I'll kick your ass.
No, listen, again, and that's not to take anything away from, she's entitled to feel how she feels. I think that's important.
True.
We should never get comfortable with dismissing how other people feel, even if we don't agree with it or we don't like it. Okay? Because it is dangerous. It's how things escalate, and that's where, a lot of this falls through the cracks. But also, again, and I need to say this because, again, as a musician, as a performer, I run a podcast, I do this, I do that. There's also a case to be made that she runs a chat show, and it's a type of show that tends to focus on highly charged emotional context.
A lot of gossip, too.
And a lot of gossip.
And what's juicier than the Oscars event that's made its way around the world? And when it comes to one of my
what better publicity?
It comes to one of my questions then, and you bring this all up. Was this staged? They're all
people have asked that.
They are all world professional actors and actresses.
A lot of people have asked
You're
that.
literally sitting at the award show for said types of people.
Yep.
Who's to say that they didn't have that shit rehearsed? I mean, obviously you can look back at the footage as much as you want, but from my opinion, I don't think that was real. I think that was an awkward slap. I don't think he really meant it. For as angry as he sound and getting up on national TV to slap somebody, you think you'd slap somebody enough to mean it. You want to step into it. You want to, he didn't really do like a proper.
In my honest opinion,
dual thing,
right? Like you might as well just taken off a glove and smacked him with that.
Face in the glove, yeah, exactly.
My honest opinion, and this is, again, I didn't see it when it happened, but I went back and I looked at it because I wanted to get an honest read. I wanted to see the dynamics from the footage to just try and get it, and I am very much inclined that, again, initially he thought it was he laughed. And her reaction, triggered something. And I think in Will Smith's mind, and I would love to have Will Smith come on and tell me himself, hint, hint. I still love you, brother. I'll give you a fair shake, man, as far as I'm concerned. But, here's the thing. I honestly think that in his mind, where he's at in his life, he probably figured, you know what? I can just walk up here and I can slap Chris. I can make a statement and show Jada. I'll do this in front of everybody. You know what I mean? Again, the male mentality. I'm going to show everybody how fucking much
myself to you.
I love you. Or, again, whatever the framework. But again, that he was just like, you know what, fuck it. At this point in my life, I'm going to go up there and I'm just going to fucking smack him. What are they going to do to me?
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that seems the most alpha, quote unquote, way to do it.
Yeah.
Is that you set an example on not only in front of a whole bunch of important people, but on live TV? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if there was ever a display, you want to talk about the peacock in the room moment. Yeah, brother just stood up and just said, yep, fuck it. I'm going to go up there and I'm going to take one for the team.
He's been emasculated in so many other ways. I hate
yes, and that is an unfortunate reality, and I think that's a fair point. He has been emasculated at so many different fucking levels. It's not right. But But also, in the flip side, Jada has been slut-shamed.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair or right either. Listen, whatever the dynamics of their relationship are.
Their dirty laundry out into the public
Well,
affairs.
that goes back to her show. I think that's about, again, the context that the general public loves a fucking train wreck.
Yeah. And
all right, they it's like Gladiator. They want to see blood and guts. It's like, all you know, it's entertained.
That's exactly where
and it is the lowest common denominator. It's the mob mentality. And granted, I'm all for people have a good time. I like doing, crazy shit to certain degrees. I like talking about things openly, and, I use a lot of comedy, and some of it is fucked up. Shiya was not really appreciative of my Bert and Ernie fisting session.
Will never be appreciative.
You know what I mean? It was triggering for her. Now, again, it was never my intent. But that's the problem with comedy.
Because that's my childhood, goddammit.
And that's the same thing with Suzanne's beaver asshole.
I have a folder of memes that
listen,
destroy
I get
your childhood.
No,
not everybody's going to agree. We can agree to disagree. It's cool. You know what I mean? But there is, again, to degrees, a fine line. Where do we draw that line?
I just had a great thought, thanks to Shiya. Thought for the day for everyone.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Out there somewhere, somebody has a folder of horrible memes designed to destroy your childhood cherished memories. Just know that.
Listen, there are people out there right now that are actively plotting ways, experimenting with ways to just mentally, emotionally, and spiritually traumatize you. Okay?
Where was the plug again?
There are just, it is an industry. Because again, listen, let's be honest, there's certain elements, and they're the baseline, and I'm not saying everybody, and I'm not saying that it's always not warranted. That's why shows like Jerry Springer ran for so many years. I mean, again, I don't know.
Isn't it?
I don't know. I can't watch it. You know what I mean?
The father.
The Goblin Queen, you can just go fuck yourself, okay? I love you, but you can go fuck yourself. You're not blaming him. It's the Alfredo. That's on you.
I mean, I don't mind taking the blame.
Oh, all right. Well, in that case, fuck me. And that's how that episode ended.
You can't sleep, just remember, I'm watching.
Yeah, Bill Burr. Brother Johnny says, yeah, Bill Burr is definitely an example of a comedian whose jokes aren't for everyone. Mm-hmm. And again, I respect him as a comedian, and, we can agree to disagree on certain things. You know what I mean? That is the beauty, I believe, of humanity, is that we have the capability, we have the option, we have the free will to be better, to be more than, to not just be reduced.
When you look at these types of shows, the award shows and stuff like that, there is a history of the comedians roasting the people in the audience. This is a...
Hold on, I have to interrupt you. The Goblin Queen is making sexual advances on the monkey.
Oh my God.
Trigger! Okay, we're opening the bidding at 20 quatloos. I have here a prime slice of indigo monkey.
He cooks.
You can start your bidding now. He does housework. He cooks.
He cooks.
Yeah, no, that's not.
He knows how to chop wood. And he can make spinach puffs. He is.
Spinach puffs?
Yes.
How come you haven't made me spinach puffs?
Well, he has an orc chef alter ego.
Yes.
Crumb cook, then smash.
Come cook and smash.
Come cook and smash. Yes, and for those of you who don't understand, we as a family have for many years, one day a week, we game together. And what it has been for several years now is we have been role-playing Dungeons and Dragons within a couple of different campaigns. And sometimes I will DM, which is Dungeon Master, and sometimes Monkey will DM and Dungeon Master. And we come up with some really interesting shit. It should be no surprise to anybody that Shiya, of course, is a celestial goddess who goes around converting innocent peasants and
burning down half the city.
Burning down plague infected.
It was plague infested. I was saving the world from the plague.
So, art imitates life, life imitates art. There really isn't a whole lot
They weren't
of
human
distinction.
anymore.
It's really just how you choose to perceive it. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't suggest that you run out to your local Walmart with your sword and think that, you're going to be Ragnar Lothbrok and just, I'll take what I want. Because I guarantee you the men will use you for target practice. Let me tell you. They enjoy that shit. Okay? They do.
I think you're Ragnar.
Don't be surprised. Don't be fooled. That's the world we live in. Yes, my monkey. Honora, just to give you the backstory, and I do apologize. I assume that everybody knows. When he was younger, very young, one of the things that would help with him when he was, cranky or colicky and stuff was music.
Still does.
Still does.
Yeah. When he's cranky and colicky.
When he's cranky and colicky or gassy.
Except it's changed from something nice to something usually demonic.
But anyway, so one of the albums that I used to play a lot was the Beatles' White Album. And there's a particular track on the Beatles' White Album that's called Everybody's Got Something to Hide Except for Me and My Monkey. That literally is the name of the track. And it was one of his favorites. So I could put that track on, and literally I would repeat that track for hours on end. He would dance in my arms, he would fall asleep, but it was a song, for whatever reason, that spoke to him, and it was part of my childhood, and so it was a connection that we made, and it kind of grew and expanded because, again, as a single parent over the years, it's been me and him. It's been me and my monkey against the world. So the analogy, everybody's got something to hide except for me and my... That was your cue.
Monkey.
There you go. Monkey.
And the monkey is the wolf.
Now, granted, we have a witch now who has become part of our family now. So that dynamic has shifted. So it's not everybody.
Yes, we're quite
and a monkey.
We got a goblin queen, we got a beaver queen, we got brother Johnny, we got Melissa, we got Honora. We have this huge expanded family, and that is, again, all joking aside, the framework of strength in numbers. Yes, that is the... Thank you, Honora, for the simplest answer is the best answer. Yes, he's my son.
Yes, hi.
Hello. Nobody expects a Spanish
We
Inquisition.
basically have the wolf, Ragnar Lothbrok, over here,
Yeah.
and his firstborn,
Bjorn!
Ironside the monkey.
So, yes.
Open.
It's like that. But listen, we believe the family that plays together stays together, and we make it a point to, engage at different levels. And I recommend this strongly. Again, all joking aside, engage with the people you love. Engage with the people around you. Find the common elements. It's okay to be silly. It's okay to be stupid. Chanel, a.k.a. the Goblin Queen, will attest to this as a parent and stuff. When you interact with your children, it doesn't matter if your children are 10 years old or 50 years old. They are still part of you. They're still part of your family. And yes, trigger alert. Now Honora is like, is your son single, monkey? Well, I'm the wolf. I'm the old wolf, sometimes the broken wolf, but the indigo monkey, yes, indeed, is single.
Oh, dear Christ.
He's single and quite available.
And he cooks.
Yeah, Chanel nailed it. Well, Ragnar is supposedly supposed to be, related to the All-Father, so it does make sense that he's with Shiya, a.k.a., yeah. Listen, the Freya, I absolutely get it. There are no coincidences. It only took me 50 years to get to this place, but hey, such is the will of the gods. Destiny's all.
I knew it was coming.
But yes.
Viking shows.
Yes. So, yes, we've been having fun with some of the memes and, talking about serious things and talking about funny things, be a beaver asshole or, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to go to another track, and this is a track that, again, has a lot of weight to it. It's also a track that the monkey is a part of. He did bass for this. So without further ado, I'm going to dip into another quick track. And for those of you who have not heard the new version of Mama Rocks with my brother Matt on vocals, here it is for your enjoyment, and we'll be right back.
Right.
to show you all the things you have forgotten. The things you have forgotten. It wasn't so long ago. We all danced around the fire, telling stories to the children, laughing with their wonder. Mama rocks, remember who you are. Don't let them bring you down. If you could only see the way we see you still, the magic is in your heart. Your destiny will carry with you in the arms of a mother. It's simple, don't you see? The question was always the answer. Hey mama, let us give you all the dreams you have forgotten. Lost amongst the memories of the things you desire. The power of a smile made stronger with your laughter, with your laughter, with your laughter. Mama rocks, remember who you are. Don't let them bring you down. If you could only say the way we see you still, the magic is in your heart. Your destiny will carry with you in the arms of her mother. It's simple, don't you see? The question was always the answer. Hey mama, let us show you all the things.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back.
Aha. So yes, that was Mama Rocks. That is the new remastered version with Matt Brown on vocals, myself, Monkey, and Tom Hampton of Poco. Before Poco, unfortunately, broke up. It's a story for another day. I intend to have Tom out here on the podcast. I'll let him talk about it. But Tom is a friend of mine that Monkey and I met at a friend's kind of hippie party.
Oh, what? Rocks, Ribs, and Ridges?
Ribs, and Ridges many years ago, yes. Yes. But anyway, story for another day. Again, just kind of rolling through some of the different services, the writing contest, the mentorship circle, alternate recovery, mystical moons, all kinds of stuff, you know what I mean, that we do try to engage in. And like all things, you know, and I talk about this a lot, you know, strength in numbers. You know, we try and support those, you know, people support us. So yes, you know, if you can like and share for us, that is always, 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 always
Like and share.
appreciated.
Like and share. Please, please, please.
So yes, the YouTube channel, again, you know, again, it's free. It's free to subscribe. There's a lot of different stuff on there. We have the podcast. We have the individual tracks, which you are welcome, again, to share out. The only thing that we ask, if you're going to use it in a commercial context, aka, you know, you want to use it to promote something, you just gotta email us, contact us, let us know. Otherwise, you'll get flagged out there, and it won't even have anything to do with us. Yeah. It's just the way the internet works. Okay, so trust me when I say we want you to use it. We want people, you know, to hear it, to enjoy it, but you got to let us know, and that's only again if you're using it in a commercial.
What would you do if Trump reached out and wanted to use your music?
Yeah, I'd have to say no. They know, and again, it's not even.
I'd probably say no to just about any politician.
I wouldn't give a shit if he was, you know, Republican or Democrat. It's not about politics with me. He's a used car salesman. He's proven to be a liar. He's proven to be a scam artist through many, many years. You know, anybody that, you know, lived in New Jersey or knows anything about what he did to Atlantic City, you know, what he's done in elements in New York City, Trump University, Trump Steaks. I mean, this guy has made a fucking lifetime of ripping people off. And that's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not even going to give him any more airtime. So,
I should have said it.
That's my fucking take on it. Now, again, I'll say this, and I will say this, despite, you know, I do have hippie tendencies, I do have conservative elements, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't begrudge, you know what I mean? Now, again, it can't be like, you know, like scumbag fucking pedophile Matt Getz, you know what I mean? Which, again, I don't give a shit which side of the fence he's on. He can go fuck himself, you know what I mean? But in the same instance, you know, if Liz Cheney, you know, from Wyoming, if she were to say, hey, listen, I really like that track and I would like to use it, I'd be like, you know what? Go ahead.
Give me money.
I'd love to hear
Same thing. Mitt Romney, even though I don't have anything, you know, I'm not a fan at all of the magic underpants thing. I respect the guy enough that I would tell him, be like, yo, you could use my music, just don't make me wear the underpants and we're cool. And I'm okay with it. Because I think it is, and a lot of people...
That's okay, because you don't have to do a thing. They'll just baptize you after you die, like they did Genghis Khan.
That's fucked up.
That's
no.
And you think I'm joking, look it up, guys. The Mormons really baptized Genghis Khan after he died.
Yeah, well, hey, you know. Teach their own.
And Joan of Arc.
And Honora and Christine hit on an interesting point, which I share. Both parties are evil. I don't know about evil, but they are fucking greedy elites. Yeah. Greedy elites, absolutely. I will get behind that 100%.
Yeah.
Evil? Yes, some of them are evil on both ends of the spectrum, okay? Some.
That's all I'm saying.
Not all.
Hey, you know what? Lawful evil still works out for good people sometimes.
Well, you know, again, there is a case to be made. Yeah, I am, as a lot of people are, really sick of fucking politics. You know, it's bullshit when you have corporate interests, you know. And listen, again, it doesn't take a rocket scientist, okay?
I would
even fucking grade school children can understand a simple concept. When you have, you know, a business that every year makes billions of dollars of profits, aka the petroleum companies who make the gasoline. There is no reason why, and it's not fucking Joe Biden's fault, it's not Trump's fault, it is Exxon and Mobil and Shell. They have been
protecting their record profits.
right. Okay, so don't kid yourself.
Despite everything,
it's never
going
been
on.
about politics in regards to this, except with the subsidies and the tax breaks that they get, because the politicians kiss their asses and suck their dicks, because guess what? These are the companies that pay them
Yep.
to be politicians. So there's no coincidence when they're the ones paying for it that these people down there in Washington, D.C. are going to do what they want to do. And this is what's been happening for several...
Right back to demolition man.
generations. Yeah, listen,
Restaurants are Taco Bell.
and this is why I didn't want to open the door. Listen, I understand...
Everyone, we need to vote for Schwarzenegger. We need to make it a reality. Fuck everyone else.
I understand
He'll be the president.
that some people believe that Trump is better than Biden. I disagree only in the context I would rather have I'd rather have a senile old man in there than a fucking con man thief. And I'll just, again, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I don't want to get heated on anyone's end.
Yeah.
Yep.
I shouldn't have said a goddamn thing. I'm so sorry, everyone.
We can agree to disagree.
I am a spirit of chaos. I don't know. It just happened.
Now, listen, again, as somebody who comes from a long history of conservative,
I'm not on here.
I believe that it is a tragedy and a travesty that this guy somehow represents Republicans and conservatives. And again, I know, Brother John, you and I have talked about this as well, too. It's unfortunate. You know, I was a big believer in John McCain. You know, back in the day, I thought John McCain represented a good middle ground balance for all of us. He was a war hero, a veteran. He believed in elements that were common to everyday people. So for me, in many ways, and I'm not one of these Reagan Republicans either, you know what I mean? He was a clown. You know, he was basically a Hollywood person that they recruited. You know what I mean? So they can get back in power.
A good show, though.
But, you know, again, guys like John McCain, John Huntsman, I think, are honorable people. Okay? And there are others, you know what I mean? You know, even though that maybe, they you know, they're not perfect and stuff like that, that at least I believe back in the day represented a better standard.
I believe we shot and assassinated the last good president we had.
But I also don't believe that John... Listen,
I miss Obama.
Listen, I don't believe that, you know, fucking JFK somehow is reincarnated through this
to know Obama.
fucking crazy Q shit. But again, we digress.
Yeah, we
digress into the places we do not want to go.
That's what we do.
But, you know, but listen, in fairness, we do need to talk about it, because I'm also not one. I'm not just going to say, hey, fuck you. I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to fucking listen to you just because you believed something different. Because there's a reason.
Believe something different and still respect each other and have a good conversation.
Now,
we lost the ability to have a conversation based in facts and
because we can't agree on the facts anymore, and it is unfortunate. But listen, Honora throws out a great point, and I think this is a good one. Native Americans for president is our hope for a great healing spirit energy today, as collective awakening of enlightenment today is needed more than ever today in the divine healing spirit of Mother Earth. That's a great point. And even if it wasn't so much, and I would totally get, because I tend to emulate a lot of Native American philosophies. However, as long as we were within the ballpark of that, because you're right, that's what we really need more, is somebody who's going to be a healer, somebody who's going to bring the collective's energy together to not only awaken, as you say, but to bring enlightenment, to say, hey, listen, we can do fucking better.
let's elect President Zelensky.
But listen, but here's the problem, and Honora, here's the flip side. We can't give the USA back, and, you know, history is not going to reverse itself, but we could find a better common ground. Yep. We could find a better common ground to bring some of the elements that we've lost back into the mix. So that way, and I'll use this analogy, that we could actually be a true melting pot that doesn't smell of shit.
And nothing for nothing, I don't think you should elect somebody just for their race or their gender.
No.
Or
But their philosophy, absolutely.
Their philosophy, and in my opinion, their ability to handle critical thinking. If you cannot handle critical thinking and break down a complicated problem into a series of simple problems and solve them all effectively, you are not meant to be a leader.
I get it. Monkey
Amen.
for president.
Amen.
Monkey for president. I'm voting for monkey.
Now, some of the problem that we have, and again, if we're going to have an honest conversation, and obviously we're going to continue with the conversation, is that we have a system that has systemically been broken from the inside out. When you have money in politics, which was never part of the original Constitution, was never part of the original framework of setting up the system of government, okay, therein lies, most of the problem. Money corrupts. We all know that.
Well, even our founding forefathers said that our country needed a good revolution every 200 years. Well, we're overdue.
We really don't want that because innocent people die.
Exactly.
And I want to believe, and I need to believe in many ways,
Fix our outdated
that we have evolved enough that we don't have to just kill each other to make a point.
We shouldn't be as polarized as we are. The problem comes down to that so many people associate their thoughts and beliefs and their political ideologies as being so hard ingrained into them that they have to defend it right or wrong.
Right.
That, to me, is essentially...
It's extremism.
It's incorrect, and it's ego-driven more than anything. You need to detach yourself from the fact that your ego is not connected to some of your decisions. What is connected to your ego is your ability to rationalize and to put things together when confronted with proper facts. If you can't accept facts for what they are, then you'll never move forward in life.
Yes, and it is an unfortunate paradox now because we have so many opposing elements of what is real versus what is not. Who's telling the truth and who's not. I think to some degree, certain basic elements of things, and again, within any society or civilization, that's why we document elements of things. That's why we have elements like journalism and academia that are outside the influences of things like corporations and et cetera, et cetera.
Journalism is outside of.
No, it is definitely changed.
I was just reading and watching this thing on journalism and how it is reserved for the elite now.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people who have that perspective.
And the only way to get into proper professional journalism now is to either create a blog or a vlog or something that attracts public opinion, which nowadays is extremely difficult unless you are absolutely gorgeous looking and can piggyback off that. No hate, but hey. Or, you get lucky with your connections and you go to the right colleges, you get the right educations.
It's an elitist profession now, and it lacks what they used to call journalistic integrity, where it's, hey, just the facts, man. Here's the facts. We'll give you some opinion, but we'll separate our op-ed portion from our factual portion.
Right. I believe what I was watching has something to do with, how in the 80s and 90s there was an upsurge in, main characters being journalists or something. Mm-hmm. And it became a dream job to some people. Yep. And they went chasing after it. So a lot of people ended up doing it, and then when the more people did it became more cliche, more niche, and so on. And you see the problem grow. It no longer became an issue about seeking the truth and reporting only the facts. It became an issue of, can I be more popular? Can I get my stuff more read than the other guy? Can I be the first one on this or not? It has nothing to do.
Or in many cases, can I create
a fable and spin it to be believable?
Can I create a news story that people
blow smoke where there really is no fire, or the analogy I use,
right,
blowing smoke up somebody's ass, which again.
Yes, here it comes.
Yes, here it comes.
Here it comes. Oh, no.
Da-da-da. This is the new t-shirt that we're looking to do. And then, those of you who can't see it, it's basically a squirrel there. It's like, hey, here I am, a beaver.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Specifically,
it's the beaver.
It's the beaver.
The only beaver. But anyway, the caption says, if you blow smoke up someone's ass, don't be surprised when they shit in your mouth. And that's my new go-to philosophy.
I like how you blurred out ass, but not shit.
Actually, that
Well, that's
was,
actually Jonathan did
trying to
that.
do that.
Brother John did
And he
that.
apologized for that.
I wouldn't have censored any of it.
He's like the company made him censor it.
Yeah, well,
So it's like,
we
yeah.
can fix that. This is just a rough, this is the template. This is just really the
You
prototype.
cannot say ass, but you can say shit.
What if I'm talking about my pet?
And thank you,
ass in the
Honora. We
backyard?
try. it's really the only hope that we have. We have
You're
to
gonna be the
communicate. We
jackass.
have to learn. We have to share the knowledge, the strength, the experience, the hope. It is, again, part of that key philosophy of strength in numbers. But yes, and I believe it. Listen, this is a simple analogy. If you blow smoke up someone's ass, basically, again, if you're bullshitting them, manipulating them, gaslighting them, trying to fuck them without their permission, you deserve to have your mouth filled with steaming shit.
I don't need that visual.
I needed that visual.
Nope.
Yeah,
I love
I'm
visuals
with the
like
monkey
that.
on this one.
Not unlike Bert fisting Ernie.
No.
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
Nope. Big heart.
Say, mommy.
Nope. Big no.
What is Bert doing to Ernie?
All right, boys and girls, count with me. There's 1.
Two.
I'm running away now. That's it. I'm done.
And this is how you chase a witch out of your house.
I got 3 different
Just for
dolls.
practical analogy.
I got 3 voodoo dolls right there. I got which doll?
No.
You know, we're screwed. Our hair is everywhere. She doesn't need to do anything but pick
Daddy,
it up.
no! Beat the dog, not me!
Yeah, no, what's fucked up is I have the shortest hair of everybody in this house.
No, you're right. There's not a good taste in that
No, I
vision,
think-
but that
I
is
think
really
it might
the
be a
wisdom
little longer
of that
than 40,
element.
Is it now? It's been great.
And I believe,
Maybe, I don't
listen,
know.
it's
It's a
a
good
standard
question.
we should hold people to.
But I
It
think
should
yours
not
is
be
long.
acceptable. Should not be acceptable for people to bullshit their way through. It's, again, inherently.
Oh, it should not be, but it totally is like the status quo for like
Yeah.
the top 10. What? Oh, I'm sorry, not 10. 1%? Is that what it was?
How does Shiya handle us both?
0.001%.
Listen, we have a group dynamic, you know what I mean? So
Oh, we love
as
it.
bad as you think we are, you have no fucking clue what this woman brings to the table. Okay, really.
Sweet and
Real,
innocent.
it's bullshit. She's
Sweet
not.
innocent.
She is not sweet and innocent.
Sweet
Anybody that knows her, anybody that's been on her lives, know that's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Think I'm sweet and innocent.
Don't get me wrong. I love her for it. I truly do. I respect it and I appreciate it. But again, I'm not blowing smoke up that
It's
ass.
not whether
It ain't
Cheyenne can
happening,
handle
boys
them
and
both.
girls.
It's whether they can handle me, Honora. Believe me, we have a fun dynamic around
Yes,
here.
we do. But listen, I
Especially
mean,
on game
again.
day when I'm burning down half the
Oh my
city.
God. Yes, her role play is definitely.
And when I'm collecting worshipers.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's what a goddess does.
Yes, exactly.
She also burns down half the village too.
Oh, thank
Listen,
you,
there's a case-
Rachel.
who- like, again,
I love you, my little baby
Sweet and
girl.
innocent works to certain degrees, but we are what we are, and we should own it.
See,
you know.
you're
Now, again, that's
Rachel's
not a
coming to the
context,
bus.
or that's not to say, hey, go out and be shitty and do shitty things. No. Okay, we say it, we joke. I make the joke with her. A lot of times I call her milk toast. You know what I mean? But,
cinnamon toast, damn it.
well, you've
Cinnamon toast
evolved.
crunch.
Evolved to cinnamon toast crunch, and that's okay. Our lives are, just that. They're our lives, our experiences, the things we, and listen. Sometimes you see things you wish you could, you want to unsee. I refer to it many times as dancing in the mouth of madness. No, listen, we love her. She
She's
loves
never
us.
gonna curse us because then we'll stop cooking for her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
pretty
true.
much.
Oh my goodness, they
And listen, I'm not just an old wolf, and Shiya will attest to this. I got a little bit of magic. I'm not trying to boast. I'm not going to front here or try and be like, I am Merlin. That ain't going to happen, at least not today. But I got my own skills, okay? My mother is an old school gypsy, okay? The indigo monkey, he comes from a long line of, white oppressors and
Jesus Christ.
Romanian
no.
gypsies.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes, we shall go on the crusades in the name of our Lord, dear God, and we shall kill everything that is not like us. So saith the Lord.
You should be honored but Rachel is kind of my adopted daughter for many years, and now she's apparently sight unseen adopted the both of you.
Oh,
So there
okay.
you go. Congratulations.
And hey, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this publicly. You should be thanking me, fucker. Because if it wasn't for me, you would have been part of the Order of St. John. You would have been a Knight of Malta, and you would have been forever tagged. All right.
And excommunicated.
You would have been. my monkey. Listen, this is when you know you did right with your son. His response, simply for anybody who just kind of missed it in the little bit of the moment, he's like, I would seek out to get myself excommunicated.
There you go.
So, props to you. I do love you. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've mentioned it. I'll do more of a deeper podcast on it. You know, one of the other podcasts that I'll be doing down the road. I'm still doing research. You know, I do have a bit of an interesting family background, and my grandfather was a bit of a player back in the day. He was one of McCarthy's guys. Yes, back in the good old days when the only thing we really had to worry about were commies hiding in the shadows.
Are you or anybody you know at this time or have ever been associated with the Communist Party?
Yep.
Yo, in Fallout,
It's like
I love
that.
it. There's this robot. For all of you that have never played or seen Fallout, it takes place in this dystopian future. Anyway, there's this robot you can find, and he's obsessed with hunting down communists.
Oh my gosh.
You roll up on him, and he's getting you to verify that you aren't a communist. And the funny route that you can go with the dialogue is, fuck off, you crazy robot. And he goes, American colloquialism identified. Chance of communism, 0.001%. Have a good day, American citizen.
But that was a real thing back in the day, and it consumed a lot of not only politics, but obviously other elements. It carried over into Hollywood.
Yep.
It carried over into elements of academia and authors and shit like that. But it was reflective of the time, unfortunately, which is why, I am kind of born of that element. So when I see people running around there, like, justifying what Putin's doing in Ukraine, you know what I mean? I just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Right. And like, what reality, it's just like, yay for the but here's the thing, Russia's not even communist anymore.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So
I think they're going to have a lot harder time conquering Ukraine than you think. These people are literally picking up landmines with their fucking hands and moving them off the road. You cannot be born with more balls than that.
Let me tell you, the men and women, boys and girls, old and young, the people of Ukraine, they are full out Call of Duty war zone fucking. They just like they're
living it.
They'll hit you with the fucking kitchen sink. They're like, yo, this is my fucking house. This is my community. These are my people. Fuck you. Fuck your tanks. Fuck your rhetoric.
Yo, they were literally taking their farming equipment and stealing.
They're using tractors to fucking drag tanks
and giving
away.
it to the resistance to use against the Russian
Let me tell you, this
it's
thing,
amazing.
And the stats,
despite all of the memes and the good jokes and stories that we're sharing right now, they are still going through a travesty. So
yeah, it's horrible.
Anyone is capable of doing something, donating, helping, please do.
Yeah.
Because it really is a horrible thing.
Actually, part of our live right now, our podcast is being restreamed through a company called Restream, which is from Ukraine. That is a Ukrainian company.
No shit.
No shit.
And
all right.
You have it.
That's
very
why
cool.
It's got the Ukrainian
hey, listen,
flag on
listen, total love, total
Gotcha.
support. Nobody should have to go through what they're going through. Mm-hmm. And I say this also in the same context, and I don't want to come across as a fucking hypocrite, because this needs to be said. It's not okay for anybody. It's not okay when Putin does it. It wasn't okay when we did it. Yep. We went into fucking Afghanistan. We went into fucking Iraq and all this bullshit. Vietnam, yes, you can absolutely make a case. You know what I mean? Listen, you can make a case for pretty much all of at least modern warfare.
Yeah.
Has been just, this, my dick is bigger than yours, my God is better than yours, stupidity. And again, it's always based on somebody else's interpretation of rhetoric. You're a communist, you're
You're
a
a
snowflake, you're this, you're that, blah, blah, blah.
I think my favorite one was the heretic. That had the most oomph behind it.
Heretic.
Yeah, you could really
I
get.
liked heretic. Yeah.
You could really feel the zealotry behind it.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Mm.
Heretic. It's like, oh, I feel that one. Yeah.
Brother John's like, we can join his order of Lord John the Phoenix Trismegistus. What the Trismegistus?
I am already a member of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
Megistus.
Yes,
He
that's
blessed
right.
us with his noodly appendages so that we may one day join him in the sky.
Is that Pastafarian?
Yes.
For those of you that missed that, please do.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just
No. Do that plug again. Just go through the diatribe, because we were all talking over each other. So I want people to get the full effect. So your promo for
Pastafarianism.
Pastafarianism. Go ahead.
May the God above bless us with his newly appendages so that we may one day fly with him in the sky. Amen.
There you go.
All hail the great.
So if you're a fan like,
The flying spaghetti.
hey, listen, if you're a fan of
Put
like
on your-
Chanel of the
your helmet.
Alfredo, the spaghetti god is definitely
Flying spaghetti monster.
Well, the flying spaghetti monster, but he really is the spaghetti god. He has many faces.
He prefers his true name.
He
prefers his true name,
can
though.
appear though as
Not unlike Cthulhu.
or even that's not.
I know. I don't like just breathing.
Now, I like Rachel's take. Presbyterian. They believe when you die, your soul gets stuck on the roof.
Oh boy.
Now, in my particular case, I would take that over the neighborhood dog basically dragging me around, chewing on me, pissing on me, humping me, and then leaving me abandoned somewhere in the forest. So, yeah, being stuck on the roof sounds a whole lot better than
things that happen to a frisbee.
things that happen to a frisbee.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay.
Yes, we had to go there because Rachel
had
made
to
a
go
great
there.
play there.
Yes.
And I couldn't let it go. It was like she served me a really beautiful curveball. And I was just like, I was Mickey Mantle at the
That
plate
wasn't
for
a
the
ball.
moment.
That wasn't
Which
a ball.
1953. I'm Mickey Mantle. It's the Yankees.
Frisbee.
It's the bottom of the ninth in the World Series.
I'm pretty sure there was.
He swings! Yeah, caught you off guard, didn't it? It's going! It's Bob Uecker. It's out of here! The Yankees win the paint! Ah! Let's go get drunk.
Boo. Let's go Rangers.
Better up, better. No better. So yes, we digress.
Hey,
We
Rachel knows I'm a
slide
Rangers
over
fan.
here, we slide over there. But there's a case. Now, again, part of the bigger context here, and I made mention of this in a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and this was actually something that was said by Bill Maher on his show, is that we need to all be open-minded. I don't want to just cut people off just because they don't agree with my philosophies or with it.
Yeah.
I would rather try and lead by example. I would try in my heart to be like, hey, listen, again, let's see where we can find the common ground. We do have to share this world together. I don't want to have to burn you with a flamethrower and
Flamin' Waffle.
spread your ashes
He's
in
a big
my
Flamin'
new society. But hey,
Do you like my
Nice.
Flamin' Waffle? It wuffs flamin'.
do you love me?
No.
Could you learn to love me?
No.
Would you
know
like
what,
some
Baileys?
Baileys? Yes.
If anybody knows those references,
Yeah, that's
that's hilarious. I love it.
Carl.
Carl, did you eat the mailman again?
Yes, I ate the mailman again. He was delicious.
Not supposed to kill people, Carl.
Now, we do lots of different elements of things. The music is going to continue to expand, as we also mentioned before. The mentorship circle, doing some expansions on, and other little elements as we move into the spring, into the summer, into better weather all around.
Oh, please, God.
Oh.
My hip is dying today. The
Yes,
wolf pulled
yes.
aside. I don't know. The monkey isn't chippering and then as much as normal. We don't know what the fuck's going on.
When somebody forgot to make the, I guess,
Somebody's playing with the big thermostat in the sky. And they
yeah,
stop.
yeah.
I
Somebody
just
didn't
wanted to make
sacrifice
this
something
again.
where they were supposed to.
Either that or whatever mad scientist is experimenting with a weather machine. Congratulations, you fucking did it. Stop.
Yeah.
And because I missed this and I wanted to get to it, but we got caught up in the conversation in Jonathan's earlier commentary. Johnny Bro, I don't believe if and when the aliens do show up, because I'm not sure they're really going to show up for a variety of reasons, but if they do, I don't see any way that...
Man, you know what we are? We're a fucking zoo.
I was just going to say,
They're just
I don't
watching.
see any way that this is going to go down the way that we would preferably like it. Anything that comes here, they're going to look at us and they're going to be like, holy shit, this is an invasive species that literally kills and eats its own with no regard for its own, its own safety. I mean, I would think for anything that was even slightly advanced or evolved, we must be fucking terrifying. That this is
there's multiple
This is like Planet of the Apes on steroids.
Oh no, it gets worse than that.
The apes are more evolved.
From an alien's point of
Good
view,
point.
from an alien's point of view, looking down at humans on Earth, there are a few things that we ourselves don't consider that they would find utterly terrifying. First of which I'd like to bring to everyone's attention. If it is furry, we love it. Doesn't matter if it has razor sharp claws, doesn't matter if it has razor sharp fangs, doesn't matter if it's a 600-pound black bear, doesn't matter if it's Smokey the bear. We're going to go up, we're going to try and cuddle it, name him Fluffy, and
we're going to take selfies with it. Right.
Yeah, we're going to take selfies with it. All right, so that's survival instinct number one, thrown out the window. Number two, we like to poison ourselves with alcohol on a daily basis for some people. Hopefully not anybody listening does that. If you do, you might want to seek some help.
Yeah.
That aside, we do that. So, that's utterly horrifying. Number three, we've got sports like boxing, football, all this physical violence. They're looking at all that and they're like, good Lord, they hurt each other for fun. What is wrong with them?
Now, if you watched our television and television broadcasts, we would be an oversexed, overdrugged.
Yeah, I was going to say the first time they log on to Pornhub, all bets are off, man. All bets are off. They're going to see some. They're going to see some guy fucking a chicken or like Japanese puke porn.
No.
What's it going to be?
One of the first things they're going to hear is one of Hitler's first speeches.
Oh, well, that'll go over real.
And that's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yes.
I just think that if they watch the drug commercials, yes, we can cure your depression, but may cause anal leakage and death.
Yes.
See, a lot of these aren't aired out like that, though, because we advanced the technology enough that we're not just broadcasting out everywhere.
But they're going to come out.
But some of the very first broadcasts were done exactly like that.
They were just shot out into the universe.
Out everywhere.
They were
So
literally
they're literally flying through the universe right now. And somebody somewhere, light years and light years away, if you believe it, is going to eventually pick up on this message. And I think the very first one is something actually rather nice. But one of the first ones after that is going to be one of Hitler's first speeches. And it's going to be freaking bad.
which sets me up for tonight's bad joke of the night. That analogy I thought was great. You know what I mean? Because he was. Back in the day when we were doing television and radio broadcasts, all that stuff, those early years, they were just fucking splooged into the universe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And it's not unlike Louis C.K. at a meet. Yes. And you shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Okay, let's do this again. Okay. Goddamn witch. Always fucking shit up. So yeah, that analogy earlier I thought was really good. Okay, because you're right. Back in the day and during those early days of radio and TV, we would just, basically splooge it into the universe. All that shit went out there. Not unlike Louis C.K. in his trailer with his interns.
Oh my God.
Yes, I went there. And for those of you who don't know, that's why Louis C.K. basically got canceled, is because he had a propensity to jerk off on his interns. I don't know why, but hey,
I mean, gee, I can't believe you went there.
These are the things that
See, you start talking about
drive our world. No, listen, I just thought it was a
Rick and Morty.
great analogy. She goes Rick and Morty, I go Pornhub, and Monkey goes Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. There we go. How is there splooge in Elden Ring now?
I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer that question.
That was like the most fucked up Jeopardy moments. Like, sorry, Alex, I refuse to answer that grounds on the prison that it may
Alex,
it may incriminate me.
my answer is what is absolutely not.
Yeah, there you go.
What is absolutely not. Yeah, listen, you're right, and there's so many examples of it. You know what I mean? But here's also the flip side. I know women, and I know Shiya knows women and men who have legitimately tried to pull away some of the stigma and the stereotypes of the sex industry, because it isn't just about kidnapping children or suffering of women. It isn't all sexual abuse. It's unfortunately polarized through the lens that as a society, we haven't figured out how to be able to deal with our sexuality correctly.
Sure.
We're always concerned about who's blowing who. You know, I personally think Kanye, he needs to come out of the closet. He's been stuck on there since, what, season 13 of South Park?
Something like
That's a long time to be stuck in the fucking closet, man. I mean, I don't know if Tom Cruise is bringing him food in there still. Is he still in the closet with them? John Travolta, I know he made a fucking
I haven't
appearance.
seen or heard a single thing on the two of them. I think they're fine.
Well, I know Tom's making movies still, so more power to him.
You know,
He wants to go in space and
you know what?
I think he wants to go in space and die. I don't know what the fuck
all
that's
the more
about.
freedom to him. I don't think he's a half bad actor.
Yeah, Rachel got it. Totally a gay fish. Fish sticks. Yes, fish sticks.
Fish sticks.
Listen,
On a serious note, now that you bring up Kanye, he was another one of these men that was completely humiliated for having a mental breakdown and showing his feelings.
You're right. You're right. But he's also somebody now.
He's not somebody that is on my favorite persons list, not like Will Smith.
I have a problem with him trying to weaponize the elements of religion and dogma within the gospel elements that he proclaims.
Regardless of past decisions and whatnot, though, he tried to show and have a moment of vulnerability, and he got made fun of for it.
He got made fun of,
and that is just a example of the stigmatization that men go through.
Yeah, you're right.
That is really, in my opinion, glanced over very easily.
Yeah. Guys have been gaslighting women for so long that we as women are ignoring the fact that guys are also now being gaslighted as well. And gaslighting needs to be a non-gender specific thing. We need to recognize that narcissists can be male, female, non-binary, transgender, LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There is no limit to who can be a narcissist and who can gaslight other people.
And I'm just going to say this, and this is now set up for the second bad joke of the night.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. I'm all for it. I'm totally cool. I just don't want dicks during the women's volleyball tournament. Okay? I'm just saying. It's a women's volleyball tournament. I don't want to see nuts. I don't want to see dicks. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, there's an example of humor gone sideways. Yes. Now, again, in all seriousness, again, everybody should be entitled to express themselves how they want, but it has become a trigger element that you now have biologically, and I say this again loosely, biologically, men who have chosen to identify as women competing in women's collegiate sports. And I'm sorry, but that's just, it's a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Again, I don't have a problem.
I think that's the wrong way to word it.
Maybe wrong way. Again, I don't have a problem. You want to express that way. You want to live that way. But especially within the framework of college athletics and competition, there is a reason culturally and historically why men and women are separated. It is not realistic. Now, again, if you want to eliminate it and say, hey, we're not going to have a men's division, we're not going to have a women's division, we're just going to have an overall division where men and women and gender neutral can compete all together, fine. I'm okay with that.
I mean, I honestly think that wouldn't be a bad idea, but then you do actually see the differences.
Right.
And it's horrible because on one end, you're right, but on the other end, you're not. Because on one end, absolutely, everyone should be competing in a fair and unbiased professional way. And unfortunately, this situation has created a bit of a stir because it is a bit unfair and biased.
It is.
Now, on the other side, they're identifying as a woman. They are a woman. They're trying to be a woman, however you want to phrase it. I don't mean that to sound disrespectful. I'm not fully aware of the situation.
But your teacher's right.
They were, from what I understand, born as
Genetically
as a male.
As a male,
or
right.
genetically female. You can be physically female. I have a friend that is physically female, has gone through all of the surgeries and everything else.
And that's fine as far as a personal lifestyle element.
To compete against her in a sport because she would kick my motherfucking ass.
That's different. Like, it shouldn't, like, again, it should not be a precursor. Like, you want to be a police officer, that's fine. It should not be gender specific or a firefighter or a nurse or a doctor or any number of elements. But there's a difference between college athletics and competition within that spectrum versus your personal expression and or lifestyle choices. Now, again, also in the case in this specific scenario, the person in question competed for a couple of years within the men's division. So he swam as a male and then went to the women's side under the transgender context and then won the division. That, to me, I'm sorry, details matter. Context matters. That, to me, screams abuse. That, to me, says, hey, I couldn't win within my own division, so I'm going to use this element. I'm going to cast myself now as a woman to compete within a framework that really, it doesn't, again, this is not about lifestyle.
I think South Park nailed it with the strong woman episode, if anybody saw that. I thought that was hysterical. Because it's right to the point in saying that, you know, it in some cases, it just really isn't fair. And that's the only point I think we're trying to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about lifestyle.
Congratulations to them in living their best life, but
absolutely,
it's not fair to all the other women out there who compete as women.
Yeah.
Well, I don't fault Caitlyn Jenner for going through everything that she's done, but I got pissed off when she was named Female of the Year.
Right.
Woman of
I
the
get
Year.
that. Listen, it's insulting to a lot of women. You don't have to agree with it, but there's a decent section of the population that does not agree with that context. Now, again, this is not to say to begrudge anybody their choice of lifestyle. No. Caitlyn Jenner, back in the day when I was younger, was Bruce Jenner, who competed as an athlete, as a man, was on the fucking box of Wheaties against other men. Okay? When he transitioned, he didn't go out and compete against other women, but like you said, ultimately somehow he got dragged, or she got dragged into this element because they declared her as Woman of the Year. Now, I understand that within society, we're trying to compensate. We're trying to say, hey, listen, we want to give them voice. We want to recognize. We want to be inclusive. But there is a case sometimes when we overcompensate.
We want to be inclusive.
Okay.
We don't want equality. Fair. We need equity.
Right.
If you want to be technical.
Yes.
Equality means everyone gets the same exact little thing. It's kind of like communism. If equity, we get what we need, and if you need more, then you get more, and that's determined by, you know, everyone else around you saying, oh yeah, that makes sense, all right, let's help you out. That is a economically sound and morally sound way to do things.
It is, but I don't ever see that really happening.
So I heard you express viewpoints of Mother Russia. You are communist at heart, no?
No.
I smell these things.
I am a capitalist.
You are from the motherland, yes. All right, so before we lose out on the time, and again, not to dismiss, and I want to say this, Honora, you never have to apologize about expressing your opinion. You're not expressing it in a hateful way. You are entitled to that opinion. We want to support that for everybody. We don't have to always agree, but we find common cause within certain basic elements of love. Okay? I still love you. I don't agree with everything, you know, but we don't have to. That's okay. We can find common ground. We can learn from each other. We can still support each other within the elements that are positive. Okay? So before we lose out on too much time, I wanted to kind of give everybody a little bit of taste because I said I would do it. This track is almost done. Okay? It's not quite. It is missing the bass track. But it is the now, I guess you could say, the evolution of a track that started that was called Butterfly Effect. It has now become the track that we shall refer to as Keep On Talking. So
I call it the Boundaries Anthem.
Shiya calls this the Boundaries Anthem. So, and Honora, I appreciate that. I truly do respect that. Thank you. You were brought up to apologize. I understand. I am the same way, but I am letting you know that you don't have to. Yeah. And it's important sometimes that we don't just assume. I always try and make it a point to be direct in regards, especially when it comes to how people feel. Because just as easily a misperception can do more damage than just simply having an honest conversation. So it's important to me that I let you know that. So, that's okay. Listen, people get offended by all kinds of shit. It is what it is. That's okay. I offend people on a regular basis, and I enjoy it sometimes. And I will not lie. So with that said, we'll be right back and close it out, but enjoy this, which will be, again.
Love you too, baby heifer.
Almost complete version of Keep On Talking.
If I can find the things that you want me to change, I'm still gonna keep on walking. No, gonna sway the way I am. They can't just keep on talking. Time to play your stupid games. No one's gonna sway the way I am. They can just keep on talking.
So yeah, that is the soon to be released and completed
Oh yeah, no.
track. Yes, no. She's all, the witch is like, no. I'm like, yeah, no, I got this.
I have glasses. I don't have my
You
glasses.
can't see.
on.
You're fucking
I
blind.
am fucking blind. I don't know where I put my glasses.
But yes, that is the soon to be completed, almost mastered. Keep on talking. It's a little bit harder, got that little bit of grungy.
I love it.
Keep on talking.
It's like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking be myself, and if you don't
It's
like
powerful.
it, keep on talking, keep on walking, get the fuck away from me.
As mentioned numerous times, and will continue to be redundantly mentioned, stuff. I have many different influences and elements. Genre-wise, I play, folk, acoustic. I play hard metal. I play jazz. I play blues. Time of the Phoenix has been compared by a lot of people to Alice in Chains of all bands, which I really like. You know, I'm a big fan of Jerry Cantrell as a guitar player, and you know, them music, you know, and I've got, you know, influences inside and out. Frank Sinatra, Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles, fucking Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, Alanis Morissette, fucking Janis Joplin, Al Jolson, you know, Benny Goodman.
The amount of music,
Ludwig Beethoven.
Leopold.
Leopold.
The amount
But he
of
did a
music
little
you have
bit. He
exposed me to
was
has
a
been amazing.
conductor.
Hey, that's true.
Yeah, Leopold was a conductor, so
Okay.
I don't have as much space for him,
Gotcha.
except in the context of comedy. Leopold.
Leopold.
Yes. Nah. What's up, Doc?
Wolf season.
Duck season fire!
Ah, shit.
That's right.
It's-
Because you are, in this situation, a duck.
I am.
I don't even know where I got so many.
It's in there.
It's in there somewhere.
Up. See right there. Right there. Right there. Down. Right there.
Okay, here we
There's
go.
the duck. There you go.
Yes, there it is. Every single thing that exists in this infinite universe is either a duck or not a duck. And that's how we shall end tonight's podcast, with that little piece of free wisdom.
Quack.
And it's a simple, and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Every single thing that exists in this infinite universe, blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
That's all, folks.
is either a duck or not a duck. So, you know, it is what it is.
Quack, quack, quack,
Listen,
quack,
we
quack,
do
quack.
appreciate the love and support as always. Feel free to share the music, the podcast.
And please like, subscribe,
Like and
follow.
subscribe. Yes, YouTube. You can learn more at LadyShiya.com. Shiya will be back
Tomorrow for
What the fuck
Wednesday.
Yes. So she'll
And
be
we'll see if
doing.
we can talk to
She'll do
Wolf
some right.
into
I will definitely.
Endeavoring in some fucking.
I'll be in there as well too. So anybody, you got something you want to do, some
Okay.
dream analysis, or you want to do a quick reading, or just some comedic relief.
Or get some of that shamanistic wisdom going on. So, but which ducks walk up to the lemonade stand and ask for grapes? I don't know. Which ducks walk up to the lemonade stand and ask for grapes?
I actually have the answer for that.
Do you?
That's a wolf in duck's clothing. And with that, boys and girls, know that you are loved, love each other. Thank you again, as always. Until next time, and again, we'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
Doing the What the Fuck Wednesday, and we'll be back next Tuesday with another podcast.
Mary
My sister Monica, my brother Johnny, my sister Honora, everybody and anybody, Chris. Love you. Leah. Love you all. Not weird kind of way either, unless that's what you really want. But you gotta work something out with Shiya on that, because
Yeah.
she's
I'm
kind
a
of
jealous
possessed.
witch.
She's kind of jealous about that.
I'll claw
shit.
your eyes out.
But anyway, all joking aside, be good to each other,
Yes.
and we will see
Much
you
love.
soon. And you know what? I think we'll close it out. What do you want to close it out with?
Honestly, I would think a encore of Time of the Phoenix.
So with that being said, we're going to encore it out with Time of the Phoenix. Until next time.
If I could turn back time, then I wouldn't change any life. Wonder how the time flies fast. When I say now it's almost past. Days go by, years go by, life goes by. You've got no time to